Welcome back to the Troubleshooting Like podcast. I'm your host, Craig Poston, with my co-host, Jay Peters, where we talk about various topics, sharing our experiences on life and finance. What's up, man?
It's been going good, man. Chopping it up for a little bit right now, but past week's just been busy. Been seeing you a lot more, so yeah, keeping me busy, eh?
Yeah. No, we're both busy, just crazy busy, man. I don't understand.
Yeah. But it's been good. It's been good, like the past week. Other than work, trying to get some stuff figured out. I started looking into I should probably write down my goals because I know we typically bring them up here, and I haven't written them down in a long time. So I might want to do that here soon. And because one of the things I was watching was actively having your goals in front of you, kind of like how you have yours right there behind you and on your wall. Kind of reenacts it. So a lot of people, they say either rewrite them every day, on a notebook or something. And you know me, I always carry a notebook with me, or always have them somewhere visible for you. So very, very similar to how you have that, but having it in your room or something like right when you wake up, have it somewhere that's easy for you to access and very early in the day too. I think those are really good words. So I might just start writing fast. One of them, every year trying to lose weight, right? That one's always a perpetual goal, I guess.
Yeah.
Business wise, I think one of the reasons why I was able to get the 2 properties last year, or by the end of last year, is because that was always on the goal list or on the sheet, right? It was to purchase more properties, and specifically it was two that year. Yeah, I think getting more dialed into what the goals are is going to probably help drive a lot of things.
Yeah, no, that's a good point because, I definitely got to take some time, write down things that are really important to me. I'm also redoing the goals that I had for my last birthday resolution, just fine tune it a little bit better, and then probably use some of the things that I'm, reading up on about goal setting and, setting up foundational goals, just so it can just build on each other and get me where I need to go.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that because honestly, every time we've been here, at least for this past year, I haven't really had too many solid goals. Of course, wanting to grow in general is to me too broad, right? Because you could grow in so many ways. You could grow financially, personally. If you're spiritual, you can grow that way. You can grow physical or health wise. You can have better growth there. Like last year, I definitely had these all written down, and I don't have that this year. And I think when the New Year's hit and a lot of stuff started happening, I kind of threw them to the wayside. As in, that year's done. I'm done with those goals. I'm not done with those goals, but I still need to look at them, readjust them. When I used to have this thing where I would go over them quarterly, so it's already March, so first quarter of the year is kind of coming to the end, and I would try to get a read on am I doing these? Do I still care about these goals? That one last year, where I wanted to play the harmonica, that was I'm not saying that was a dumb goal or something. I just don't think I really thought it through or prioritized it like I should have. And it's still something I want to do in the perpetual type of thing, as in at some point I would like to play a instrument. It doesn't necessarily have to be the harmonica, but it was an instrument I've had for a while that I have yet to really play as much as I wanted to.
Yeah, no, I still want to do instrument also. Piano is one. That's probably why I have my daughter in piano, because that's something I want to do also. Then guitar, that'll be another one I would like to do. But, right now with all the other things, unless I slot time to just try to learn it, I don't know if I would give it my full dedication to, what's needed to actually be really good at it.
Yeah.
So that's why that's not on my list of goals to learn an instrument, is because of those reasons. If I'm not going to be full-hearted, dedicated to it, then it shouldn't be on the list. I mean, yes, and I guess you can have it jotted down in a book somewhere to let you know that, hey, this is something you want. That's something that, hey, come back to it when you have time. But yeah, right now, it's not something that can just be put in the front, right? Because it's still we're trying to build in real estate or investments, and, of me eventually, getting business down correctly. Also other goals with family. It's just, all these goals compound, and then you got all these goals, but nothing's happening, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's because it's not one thing is moving, as in, say, if it's real estate and you have all the other things, right? So say it's real estate, family, health, whatever it is, those all could be moving, but they could all be moving slowly versus if you had all one in real estate, that could be moving straight.
Yeah.
But you would end up forgoing health. You would end up forgoing family time, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely feel like, like, as we've said before, like there's certain goals that we'll kind of focus on for like a season or for like an amount of time where the other things would probably suffer. As in, like, say, if you're not working out as much, maybe your health maybe declines a little bit because you're focusing on work and you're focusing on the family and you're focusing on like the business, right? There's only so much time in the day. Yeah. And, one of the things I wish, and I was kind of thinking about when I was like a lot younger, is that I wish we could see like our stats of like ourselves, as in like how well are we doing in say fitness or health, how well are we doing with our family, how well are we doing wealth building, whatever it is, what are those values are, if we could just like depict them like it's a video game, like, hey, this is like where your stats are, this is like what your level is, this is what it's going to take to get to the next level. And I actually had like an idea about that when I was younger, to create a program or a game where you could do that, right? Where you could quantify those maybe unquantifiable things, as in, say if it's health, right? And you want to like dictate how well you are on like a health scale. And those things can kind of deviate depending on what it is, right? So like health for a runner may be different than health for a bodybuilder, or maybe different than health for like a yoga type person. And maybe it could be universal between them all, as in like, yes, as a runner, your cardio is really good, but your muscle building is very low, right? For bodybuilders, it would be the opposite. Like, yes, you have like a lot of muscle, but your cardiovascular health is taking a decline. What I would base it on is what's known as like, so there's some things called like the golden ratio, or like the golden standard. I think for like people, one of them is the golden ratio for men. It's called the Adonis golden ratio, as in how their physique should look according to whomever says it, right? But other than physique, there's also dentists or I was going to say orthopedists. Isn't that a foot person? Orthodontist.
Right. Yeah, orthodontist would be, we did. Yeah, the dentist. Yeah.
Orthopedist is for your foot because head. Yeah, whatever it is. But like an orthodontist, they would look at the golden ratio for a mouth or for teeth, right? And that's how they kind of base braces off of it to get it into that good ratio. Or like the jawline, I should say. But yeah, or it would be that universal thing where this is what quote unquote perfection or that golden standard is, and this is where you would fall into, and based on like cardiovascular, and it would have to like, you would have to input or somehow track what you're at. So say for example, if it's still fitness, then go for a run, see how you do, go lift some weights, see how it does, or do like a DEXA scan or body fat scan to see like what your ratios are for that. And that would kind of give you like a quantifiable stat, as in, well, in fitness, you're like a level 10, right? Yep. But in wealth, you may be like a level 2, right? So what can you do to get, either them in balance or them to like the highest level you can? And then that was like an idea I had a long time ago. I think I still have in like my old notes from when I was in like high school or when I first joined the Navy.
Yeah. No, that actually sounds like a really cool idea. Because if you can actually track pretty much anything, if you can track it, then you have a way to, like you said, quantify it, so you'll know to improve. Like, hey, there's a higher level, then I want to get there. So that does sound pretty cool. I mean, I guess they do have some things, but it's not going to be as detailed, personalized to actually you. It's going to be like something that's overall. Hey, this is what overall wealth looks like, and this is how you stack up against that. This is the same with credit, right? If you go to Credit Karma, that's what they say, right? It's like, hey, this is how you stack up to the people in your age. Yeah, but which group of my age group are you taking from? It's like, so.
No, that's very true, because that can be fairly broad, like you said with the Credit Karma, where it's like, say if you have an 800 when you're in your 20s, right? You can be like way ahead of your entire age group, right? But like, say you're in your 40s and you have an 800, and I don't know what those statistics are. Yeah, you're right. Like, what are the other circumstances that go into it? Like, do those people that I guess that you're putting a statistic against, Do they have a similar job? Do they have a similar amount of income? Do they have a similar amount of assets? Whatever it is. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's a good start to give you that idea of like what where you are. But then, yeah, what if you get the big head about like what your things look like, and you don't even know who you're up against?
Yeah.
You could be against the weakest of the pack, and you don't know it.
Yeah, I think that's like a good analogy for that is when college athletes, when they're like D1 college athletes, they're like really good. Let's say they're top 10, top 25, and then they go and try to get into like the NBA, right? And they just don't perform as well, right? So like yes, you were good with people around your age and or in the same type of field, and you did really well, right? But now you're in the big boy league and you're not doing as well because now you're people that have all this experience, all that time. Now, I think if you're like someone like a Zion Williams, right, where NCAA part of like top 10, what was playing for Duke and then goes into the NBA and still becomes a monster, right? I think those are very far and few in between. I think, Michael Jordan's another one of those where he played for the Tar Heels, North Carolina, then went to the NBA. Still murdered it, but it wasn't like his first season he was murdering everything, right? It definitely took some time to get there, but I mean, probably a lot less time than most people. Even like, I mean, maybe not like college or something, but like say like the number one picks from drafts, right? So I think Blood Soul was like one of the number one picks, and he was in the Patriots, and then later on Brady basically like takes over. Right.
Yeah.
And then I think the same thing happened to Bledsoe again when he was with the Cowboys, and Romo, I think, takes over after him. Right. So like, and Bledsoe was, I think, number one. I can't remember what draft pick, but he was definitely higher than both of those guys when they first came up the bat. And I'm not saying Bledsoe's bad or anything. I actually have probably never seen him play. These are just stories that I've heard and things I've seen. So I'm sure he's a great athlete, but unfortunately, he's not Tom Brady. Right. Unfortunately, he's not Romo. I'm not saying Romo's good. Kind of blows, actually. But
he's good by the numbers.
He's good at throwing it up to the other
team. Yeah. But no, I can see why, you use somebody like Brady as an example, because like if someone can, he's actually taking every opportunity he has to make himself better. And people got offended. Remember that time he said that a game is also like practice?
Yeah.
Because it is true. Every experience that you have adds to. Yeah. So it builds you on another level. And so he wasn't being disrespectful. He's just saying he takes every opportunity to learn and to get himself better.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think Kobe was like that as well in basketball. Michael Jordan was definitely like that. And I think a lot of the greats are like that, as in like they count their chips after a game. They try to figure out, where they fell, if they fell flat, if they felt good. But like a lot of them, I think they'll kind of go into this part where even if they did really well, they'll only look at what they did poorly or what they feel did poorly, as in say if there was like, a pass they missed or, missed a shot, whatever it is, they'll focus on that more than they'll focus on the overall win that they did.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, you got to look at the good also. Cause if you made a good play and like, why was that so much better than the other plays, right? Because it could have been that weakness of the other team, not just by chance that you made a good play. And so I think you got to look at the whole thing, so the good, take the good with the bad, right? You got to like, okay, I messed up here. What did I do? Okay, well, I fumbled, or I did the gator arms or whatever it is, right? So like whatever you did, you got to look back and see, okay, all right, make sure I hone in to what's coming towards me, or or where I'm throwing it to, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah. So yeah, I like looking at the good and the bad, so because like with basketball, I mean, just when you can outrun a team, then you understand that, okay, all right, they don't have the speed or they don't have the stamina. So like you start to notice those things. So like, why were we so much better at this team? Okay, well that team, they're not the best out of the league because of these reasons right here. They're okay with going to the club before they go to the game. So their stamina, they're exhausted and all this stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you got, between different teams and different work ethics, everyone has something different. And you got to look at all those different things to make sure that whatever it took to determine the real outcome of the situation.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And like going back to like the party thing, I remember there was like a couple of stories about how Kobe, how he typically wouldn't go party with his team or anything.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of times where like he's like, all right, if I come partying with you, then you guys got to come do what I do in the morning. Like I'm doing what you want to do, you got to do what I want to do. So like he would go on the party and stuff, and then he would be banging at the door like 3, 4 in the morning, like, hey, it's time to practice now.
Yeah.
I went out with you, you got to come out with me. So yeah, and then what I liked about like Kobe and like LeBron, or at least like the clips I've seen, is that like they're on the court and they just went through a play, and maybe the play was good or bad, but like they would take like whoever they were supposed to be on the court with, they would take them to the side and be like, hey, what was going on, right? And they'll try to like do teaching moments and stuff, as in like, no, this is probably where you should have been, or if you saw this, then probably should have did this, right? And I definitely like seeing those clips.
Yeah. No, that is a good way to maybe get yourself not invited to the next party, but also a good way to like, get people to, hey, you want me to do this? Then come do this. Like this, you're getting me to stay out late at night. How about I get you to get up early in the morning with me?
Yeah. There's going to be a give and take somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can't just keep expecting someone to do what you want, even they not ask for something in return.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool, man. Which we're talking about all this goal setting and work ethic and all these different things. It kind of leads into our topic, right? Or which is brick by brick. It's basically in my eyes, it's about goal setting, right? This is your title, so I'll let you explain it.
Yeah. So I remember when I was younger, I was in high school, and my teacher had showed us a video. It was one of the interviews that Will Smith did. And I don't know if maybe he coined it or maybe someone else coined it, or maybe he slapped it out of someone's hands. But so what it was that he was talking about how you build a building, right? You don't build a building all at once, as in you don't put all the bricks there and just expect a building, right? What you do is that you slowly place a brick as best as you can, and you slowly place another one, and at some point you have a building, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was good, like you said, very foundational, as in you're not in a rush, you're not trying to build something quickly just to build something, that you have every intention to build the building. You may not know what it looks like, what the materials are made out of, but you're taking your time and you're being the architect of whatever you want your life to be.
Yeah. No, that's, to me, sounds like a good idea. The part I'm listening to you and it's saying you're talking about the placing it very slowly, and in that way, are we saying like you're trying to get this thing as perfect as possible, getting that foundation perfect as possible before you start moving up to the next level?
Right. Exactly. Like as in, so say if your goal is to become like a fitness god, right?
Yeah.
The first thing isn't to just hit the gym. Right. The first thing isn't to just jump into a fat diet. The first thing is to assess where you're at and assess what you're willing to do to get to the next spot. Right?
Okay.
And not look at all the bodybuilders, don't look at Ronnie Coleman and expect yourself to be Ronnie Coleman within a year.
Yeah.
Right. Don't look at Arnold and expect yourself to be an Arnold within a year. But expect that it takes time. Expect that you can only go so far. Of course, push yourself to get that far, but expect it to be a journey and not just a one-time marathon, a one-time sprint.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So I like that. So I guess we'll get into the first point here. The concept of building your life a brick at a time is based on the idea of success, achievement, and the results of consistent incremental progress over time. All right. So, and then also you have in here it's a metaphorical representation of a process of building physical structures such as houses at one brick at a time. Basically what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then we kind of went into the second part. The second part is like, in order to build your life a brick at a time, you must first identify your goals and aspirations. So just exactly what I said earlier. And then, once you have a clear understanding of what you want to achieve, you can start taking small steps towards the goals one at a time. Right. And I mean, we could break down like one of our goals and kind of illustrate like how we would probably go through them better, or say if it was like a previous goal, say if you wanted to lose weight, something like what would have been like a better way to go through it so that, you could teach someone else, or you could, impart that knowledge onto someone, say your kids or just someone that's trying to go through that.
Yeah. So I guess we'll take one of my goals that I guess I've said before, and that's to buy more properties, right? And that with that, I'm identifying what I want to do, right? So then this is the main goal. Then I guess we're going to work backwards, right? So then break it down to, okay, what's needed to even get you there? Like what parts do you need to know? Is it knowledge? Is it the money? Is it your capital in a sense, right? Is it the connections? Is it, the different things? And that's how I kind of built off my goal. And it was basically talking about, what do I think I need to get to where I am? And the same as like knowing the correct banks, right? Yeah. To get to do the projects I want to do. So like, I guess it would start with knowing what you want exactly. Yeah. It will start there. And then after that, you pick another point. But then I kind of, but see, and when we say we break it down like that, then I kind of look at how you were saying that we place that brick slowly, right? So then I would basically need to know this is what I want to do, right?
I think slowly is maybe incorrect. I think intentionally is better, because when you're intentional, you fully understand what you're doing. As in, I am intentionally moving this brick here. I am intentionally moving my life in this direction. As in, I've thought of all the factors, as in the goods and the bads, right? So the good thing about having properties is that you have assets, right? You have things that grow over time and that can be fairly passive without needing you specifically to be there. The negatives is that the housing market changes. I don't really believe that history always repeats itself, but the 2008 housing crash, that definitely is something to look out for. I'm not saying to dictate your entire life or your goal for it, but then I think the actual first thing to do is, for me, the big thing is exposure, as in, you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you're never exposed to it, then how would you even know how to go about it, right? So like real estate investing, most people, especially like the middle class or lower middle class, they probably aren't exposed to it. Maybe they see something on YouTube about it, but they also probably think that they don't have enough money to do that type of stuff, which isn't true, right? But I think having that exposure, or having that lesson of, this is real estate investing, this is actually what it is. This is all the goods, all the bads. These are the different types of investments you can do. These are the different types of banks, like getting the information first and then building your opinion and or goal after that, right? So say if you were to go to one person, or let's say if you just go on YouTube, right? Because this is what I did. I just went to YouTube. I was like, I saw some videos on like real estate investment. There was definitely different ways that people did it. There were different schools of thought, as in, one of them I followed, he said that only do real estate investment with a conventional loan, right? As in, always do the 20% down, always have that initial part of equity, so that say if a housing market crash happens, you still have more wiggle room than if you did it, right? As in, if you use an FHA loan or a VA loan or whatever it is, you may not have the same amount of wiggle room. So, but then there's other people where, buy a house with an FHA, buy a house with 0% down, like using a USDA. So there's definitely different people that could teach you different things. But I think gathering that knowledge, gathering that exposure to fully understand what goes into it is like the first part to identify and analyze what's going on.
Yeah. No. So the intentional part, I definitely understand that. So then, being intentional about what I want to invest in and how I want to invest and what am I using to get to my goal, which is invest in properties. But then when I look at it like that, right, then that's not, the main goal. That is the main goal at this point in time. So this is kind of like more of the stepstone, the invest in properties. The next goal would be to or say not the next goal, but the main goal, start leading up. And we're talking about wealth, right? So then we're talking about having assets. And then that's the main goal, right? For that section of investing in properties. But then what is the goal for having assets, right? So I guess this is the way we're drilling it down, right? Because then having assets is, all right, so now I have more financial freedom. So I can move about as I need to, take vacations when I want to, spend more time with my family, basically now banks are happy to invest in, my projects
Yeah.
because they know I'm not dependent solely on them. I just need them now as in a partnership to, what I'm saying, to now do the thing that I said I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess now you're really helping me drill down, like, so what I really want, and maybe I need to make that more the top, that it's really the financial freedom and it having the wiggle room, as you were saying, to do other things.
Yeah.
So then that's my main goal. So you helped me figuring it out.
Yeah, well, and I think that's a good thing to go through as well, because I think a lot of people will go through on certain journeys, as in they'll go into real estate investment, they'll go into, let's say, a bodybuilding phase or like a health phase, where they don't fully understand why, like what that really real big reason why it is. And I think like how you just broke it down to where, what is the overarching thing? Like if I keep doing this, what is the end goal, or what is the thing that will basically become inevitable, like the inevitable goal that comes to the end. And you're right. If you break it out and look at it like a further view, getting real estate for most people is to accumulate assets, right? What happens when you accumulate assets? Well, you typically build wealth. Typically, not all the time. But that's typically like the next overarching thing. And but what does wealth really do for you? And for you, you said it was financial freedom, to have financial and like time freedom, right? To spend your time how you want to. And a lot of people, and it may not be that for a lot of people, it could be like they just want wealth just to be wealthy, right? But if you and say if it was wealth just to be wealthy, if you were to really drive that down, that means that your overarching goal is to be the most wealthy person, right, in the world. And that's what like the overall building would be that you're trying to build with those bricks, right? And I'm not saying you can't have multiple buildings, or that a building can't be like multi-purpose, as in that building can be like you have a lot of wealth, or you're the most wealthy, and you could be the most fit, and you could be the best parent, and you could be, the smartest, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But I think people really identifying like, what is that end goal? What do you see yourself doing? Or like at the end of the line, what do you want to see or say that you did? Right? Like if you're on your deathbed, what do you want to say to the people that are around you? As in, I was a good father. I was a hustler. I was a wealthy man. Whatever it is. And I think if people really dictated their goals around that, it would be really. And I think it takes like a level of experience and or maturity to get there. As in, like I said, the amount of ignorance that people have, because of lack of experience, could be great. As in, if I'm like an 18-year-old, I may not have those goals, right? I may want to be wealthy, but I may not know why I want to be wealthy. I may want to be wealthy because I see a lot of people on like social media that are wealthy, that have like a lot of stuff, that have all these materials. But then that could change, right? And these all could change, right? They could change into different things. Like, we've had different seasons or cycles of life where at a young age, I wanted wealth because of materials. At a certain age, I wanted wealth because I realized I don't have a lot of time, and I'd rather buy off my time quicker, right? At a certain age, I have a family, so I want to spend more time with them.
No, that's a good point. And then, like I said, with the being more deliberate or intentional, now you can actually make sure that is the best brick for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if we're down here at the foundation, this is the best brick. All right, this one has no cracks. This is a solid idea, like where I want to go. All right. Or sorry, once the building, which is the main goal, like where are we headed? Yeah. Now you start to get more knowledge. You get, I guess, more honed in focus. So now your foundational brick isn't cracked.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh. So yeah, no, I really like this analogy of goal setting.
And then I have another topic on here, and we'll probably talk about it maybe like next week or the week after. It's called foundation problems, right? Yeah. And that's basically, it's not necessarily the same as this. It could be the antithesis or the opposite of this, to where, what do you do when you have foundation problems, right? As in, most people, like I said, probably haven't thought about their life as intentional as they could. As in, they never thought of building wealth just to be wealthy or to get to a certain amount of wealth. They maybe thought about it to get materials or whatever it is. Now, what happens when you want to pivot, you want to change, you want to move? Now that foundation is broken, right? Do you now fix that foundation, or do you now build a new foundation, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, that's going to be like for another topic at some point.
Yeah. Yes. No. I mean, yeah, you're building up for the next one, which is good.
So pretty.
Yeah. So then we go down to our next point here, which is in order to build your life a brick at a time, you must first identify your goals and aspirations, which that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Once you have a clear understanding of what you want to achieve, you can start small steps towards that goal one at a time. Yeah. I'm putting my own words in there.
Adlib. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't plagiarize. I use my own words.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you do it. And like I said, we were already getting to that point there where you clearly identify what do you want to do, and the main goal, which is okay for me, is really the financial freedom. The way I spend my time the way I want to, be with my family the way I want to. No one tells me that I need to show up to something without without consulting me first. Don't tell me I need to be somewhere when I know where I am.
Yeah. But could we quantify it, or could you quantify that as in what is that number, right? Like what would that number be for you? And I know that changes because the economy changes every time. But within, let's say, like a 5 to 10% amount of money, what would that money look for you? As in, and I'm not saying you have to have this answer now, but it could be something to kind of think about. As in, what is the amount of money that would cover everything, all your obligations, right? So your mortgage, your bills, whatever it is, right? And then what is the amount of money that you would need to play around with? As in, now that you have all this free time, you're probably spending a little bit more money because you're maybe going out more, going on vacations, taking care of the kids a little bit more, having more time with the wife, whatever it is. And then, what is like that buffer you would need to keep growing as well. And like I said, you don't have to have this number for you right now, or the answer right now, but I think it's
I have the number. I've always had the number. Okay. But I just want to share the number. That's the thing. Because I don't know how, and I shouldn't worry about how other people feel, but it's one of those things that, like, I've always, like, okay, people don't understand when someone thinks deeply about what they want for their life, and some people just don't understand, like, why someone would choose the things that they choose. And I think that's why I don't share, like, the exact number. But just know it's a large number for a person who I am right now. But I know it would actually carry me on, and I could be able to share some of that with future generations. And that's kind of like how I leave the number. It's a number that I can share now in my family and share later.
Yeah, no, I definitely. So I'll talk about numbers because I love talking about numbers. Like, let's say if it's the same goal, and because we do have a very similar goal as well, as in the financial freedom but what I've never thought about is that what happens when I get to that number, as in when I get to that number, what happens? Like, do I just continue to do what I said I was going to do, and do more vacations, spend more time with the family, whatever it is. But I mean, we can go over the number. So for me, my obligations are, let's say, mortgages, right? So for me, my total mortgage for the 3 properties is about $8,400, and that's everything. That's principal, interest, taxes, and possible insurance that you could have. So say it was like that $8,400, and I multiply that by 12 if my thing would work.
Yeah. Well, see, you're talking about different numbers. I thought we were talking about overall. Now, maybe that's why I was looking at it from my goals. My goal I have like an automatic overall number that I want to, consider me good to go. I am self-sustaining and moving about freely, and that's probably why I looked at it when I said the number like that. But if you're just talking about expenses, everyone's expenses are different. And I know you're talking about rental property expenses.
Yeah.
So, but at that point, right, when those numbers are, regardless, that would be it's kind of almost like your business numbers there. Not your like your personal number. With this, it considers you safe from getting affected by your business, right?
Right.
Well, I'm
also saying that, like, the amount of money that you need to sustain what you're currently doing, right? As in covering all your expenses and then some, and then having enough to do what you then want to do, right? So say
Yeah.
if you cover all your expenses and say if like, so we'll stick with my numbers right now. So like, say if it's
Okay.
8,400 a month for a year, that's a little over 100,000, right? And my personal expenses, I don't spend a lot of money. So like, let's say for a year is about 36 grand, which
Yeah.
I think it's still a little much, but so that would bring us to about like 136 grand, right? So that would take over all my obligations. Nothing that, you know, and these are things that probably I wouldn't call like luxuries, right? This isn't like going out every day. This isn't go out on vacations, right? But for me, my minimum is 136K, right, for a year. So anything more than that right now would be play money. Now, say if I want to go on vacations and if I use like some of my historical stuff, and depending on where we went, so like say if it's a vacation to Hawaii, that could be fairly expensive for like 2 weeks, right? If it's just like staying home, then that's inexpensive. But say if it was, I'll go like on the high end. Say if I were to go to Hawaii like every quarter for a year, for 2 weeks per quarter, that would probably be like another 45 to 50K on top of that. So if I wanted to do basically everything I wanted to do, or have everything paid off, all my obligations done, have everything I basically need to get covered, I don't need to be there anymore, and I want to go vacation like once a quarter, then my number right now would be about 181,000, 182,000, right? Now, of course, that doesn't account for a whole bunch of other things. So, for example, investing's not in that, right? For future projects. So that's why I was saying there has to be that and then some amount of money. And people can break it down however they want, but I think how they break it down is crucial, and identifying those true tangible things as in that is my goal. Because it's great. Like, I mean, a person could say, I want to make $1 million a year, right? And, you know, maybe that could cover everything. But I think a lot of people don't realize that as you get to $1 million a year, there's additional costs that come with it. As in, for me to get to $1 million a year just based off of properties, that incurs stuff like mortgage payments, right? Now, how much of that million does your mortgage payment take out, right? How much of that million do now your new, like, say, cars, new luxuries that you have, how much does that take out of you? So do you really get to that million, or now that you're at that million, you have all this stuff that you're spending on, and now you have to get more than $1 million, and you have to go for like 10 million, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, say that's the thing. I'm not looking at the financial independent number. I'm thinking I when I set my number, it was really the number like, hey, this is gonna be you don't even have to look back anymore. You don't even have to think back. Like, so like so yeah, with the financial independent number, yeah, that one's a lot easier to get to, because you can see that one in your face, right? Because that's all your expenses, that's all your investments, that's all your different things. And but like knowing, do you know what number would make you not not just self-sustaining, as in, okay, I got my different investments feeding me, but like more along the lines of, can I make these investments grow me? You know, like, so your money has set or have put you in a position that now you're not just sustaining, you're growing. And then you're not just, growing, now you can give. You know what I'm saying? It's like so that's the reason why the numbers, I wasn't going just for the financial independent number. I was going more for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of almost like the Grant Cardone, what 10X is you to get you where you're going.
Yeah. I definitely see that now. But I mean, I still think those can be quantified. I'm not saying they have to be, but I think they can be. And I think, because like I said, like, say if you shot for a number in the dark, let's say if it's and that would take care of everything. And initially, like, it may be true, but like I said, as the journey goes on, you may realize that the bricks you placed were actually hurting you more than they were helping. As that
they're doing. Yeah, you made the house too small, right?
Yeah, you made the house too small, and you maybe like, and people have seen this, like you either built a house or you bought a house where you're like, well, why did they do this, right? As in, something here that's common in San Antonio, at least, or in Texas, is that people put laundry rooms upstairs, right? They don't put them like in their own mud room or in their own small room that is kind of connected to the garage or whatever it is, right? Or like some places, you may not see like attached garages to the house, where here in San Antonio you see a lot of those in the cookie cutters, right? So you're like, well, why is that, right? And maybe I'm sure people have thought about it. I'm sure, it might come down to cost and stuff like that. But do you think about that in your life? As in, why did I, take that class to get a degree, right? Why did I go work out? Why did I join the Army? Why did I join the Navy? Why did I work for this company? Whatever it was. And I'm not saying that you have to have all those answers, but you do have to realize that you're putting down those bricks, and those bricks may not be the best for you.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because in the end, that you could see that you have like too small of a goal, or you realize you're gonna bust that goal regardless, and you made it too weak for yourself. So now you got to make a bigger goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And now, are you willing to restart? As in, say if you're the house you built or the building you built with all those bricks, now you have to restart everything, and maybe you can salvage some of those bricks, maybe you can't, but because like you said, that goal or that building was too small, right?
Yeah.
Now you have to build a bigger home, or now you have to build on top of that building, or have add-ons, whatever it is.
Yeah, branching off. Yeah, no, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Because because a lot of times, I'll say for myself in the past, I kind of looked at things too small and not broad enough. And you think that this is helping you, but it is helping you, right? It helps you. It's the baby steps, right? But then you realize that it's not exactly what you need, So say, being an engineer, right? That was a goal. So you know what you have to do. You have to go to school. Like you know these things, right? But then you're so short-sighted because you don't know what actually takes you to that financial freedom or wealth when you're young, right? Because you know about getting a career and you can make the money, but you don't know where else can it take you. Yeah. So then you set your sights kind of small. So then you may even continue, and not to go against anybody that continues on their education at a university where they like at a PhD or whatever, right? But if they set their goals in the wrong way and they realize that, I didn't even have to do the extra degree, I could just stopped at master's and moved along to my next thing, versus like constantly going and getting a PhD, so you never know. Right, until you actually sit down and say, what is my real goal? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Now, if you plan on teaching, but okay, now you've kind of set your goal, and that does require you to step it up, to go for the PhD, or you plan on doing research, probably would be the same thing. But then that's where you want to go. But then if you don't know, you're just doing it because you think it's going to make your life better. Yeah. Then now you wasted time and money.
And I think what I like about people that have wells is that they have that, I'm not saying they all have that, but there is the opportunity to learn those things a lot quicker. As in, say if you don't have the money to test it out, right? And here, in like with IT and stuff, when we're troubleshooting, there's moments where we can test something out, and it probably won't break something, and we can then make sure that when it's like actual go time, we're doing the right thing, right? But in life, you can't necessarily do that. Right. As in, if I'm going to school, if I'm going to get a PhD, and then I end up not liking teaching, or I end up not liking research, whatever it is, now I spend the amount of time, I've spent the amount of money, whatever it is, and now I don't want to do this, or this wasn't what I thought it was. And people would probably do that a lot, as in they get into a career where they're like, man, this is not what I thought it was. I thought it was something else. I thought it would bring me this sense of purpose, sense of belonging, whatever it is, sense of achievement, and I'm not getting that from this. So, and hopefully you can pivot, and luckily, like I said, in IT, they're not just with troubleshooting certain things, but with the careers, there's so many things to do that you can pivot. And I think in IT, at least in our type of IT, it takes a lot less financial risk to do that. As if I want to be an engineer, I can be an engineer. If I want to be an admin, I can be an admin. If I want to be an analyst, I can be an analyst. If I want to be a developer, I could, right? And the difference is more experience than it is, and maybe time than it is like monetary costs. So going back to what I was saying, like where I think people that have money, they can basically spend the money to test out those experiences, or to expose themselves to those other experiences before they actually have to like dial in and find something.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if we're already hitting it, but I guess I'll go ahead and read this point. Each step represents a brick in an overall structure of life. And over time, these bricks will begin to add up, creating a strong foundation for your success.
And I'll kind of read into the next one, since we kind of did cover that last one. So this next one is the approach emphasizes the importance of consistent effort and perseverance. as progress may be slow at times and setbacks may occur. However, by focusing on taking small steps each day, you can build momentum towards your goals and create a more fulfilling and successful life brick by brick. And kind of going into that, as in, like, the bricks could be incredibly small, as in, like, a college degree doesn't necessarily have to be a brick, right? The classes you took could be the bricks. The amount of times you studied could be the bricks. The waking up could be a brick, and being in a specific, like, certain mood and being happy that you get to do whatever it is. I think those could be bricks.
Yeah. No, okay, I can see that. All right. Yeah, because as you, again, we'll take it to like what a lot of people understand is, which is losing weight, right? The thing is, you got your goal here. You say, I want to lose weight, but then what does it entail? Does it require you to get up early or late, or stay late, or whatever it is, right? So then you go from that to like, okay, how much time can I dedicate? So then what if you only have 10 minutes of, or time, or 20 minutes of time, or 30 minutes of time, right? Then you want to you still want to do this goal of losing weight. Then you take piece by piece to get you there, to get that full brick, right? Is that how we're talking about it?
Yeah. Or you can do like the pieces, or just identify, or saying like those 10 minutes. So someone's 10 minutes of working out could be the same brick of another person's 30 minutes of working out, or other person's an hour, as in, because it's your brick, it's your building, it's what you want, right? Yeah. So how you shape that brick is up to you, but you identifying that is the brick that is going to build that house, build that building, is really integral. And it doesn't have, the reason why it's a brick is because it doesn't have to be big. Okay. So if you think about a brick and you think about a building, like you said, the building could be small, the building could be large. And if I think about a brick, there's even stuff like Legos. Legos are a brick, right? They're just small. Yeah. They're plastic. They're made out of a different material, but you can still build with them, right? And it may not be something you could live in, but it's something that you built.
Yeah.
So whether it's that Lego, whether it's like a regular, 6x3 brick, whatever it is that people use for houses and buildings, if it's even a huge cement brick, right? You can take it as however you want it, right? So if let's say those small morning routines that you have, like wake up at a certain time, get ready, go to the gym, whatever that is, those could be the small bricks that build like a Lego house, right? But putting in the work will be the bricks that actually build the real building that you want. And then those monumental things would be, say if you wanted a bigger building, or if you wanted a bigger brick itself, then that's what it could be.
Yeah. And I guess therefore, if we keep it on working out, right, the next brick would be diet, right? Having a good diet plan, or learning how to eat better. So then you would, slow, I guess a slow step with that is just adding to your grocery cart more healthy objects, right? Yeah. So you have options, I meant to say, more healthy options. So you'll be able to build on that, because you can slowly learn more about food nutrition that actually, start another brick that actually gets you to your goal, right? Yeah. So, because those are things I normally think about. And a lot of times, when it comes to working out, they actually say the diet is 80% of the fight,
Definitely.
Yeah. So then it would, make sense that, maybe you would focus more on that brick, which would be the knowledge of food and nutrition, to make sure that you're putting good things in your body.
Yeah.
Before you just jump to doing a 3-hour workout.
Yeah. Or expecting that just doing the 3-hour workout will get you that 6-pack.
Yeah. So and I like that. Then that's prioritizing the real part of the foundation, right? Now you need to know. So that's basically gaining new knowledge, right, to add to this brick.
Yeah.
So to know that you need to do this over doing, multiple hours in the gym just to get your 6-pack. Now I know you get it for an athlete, right? A normal athlete, they need to practice. They need to keep that machine running.
Yeah. But they're also like being paid for it, right?
Yeah.
As in, like, you only have so much time because, we have a 9-to-5 job. You have families and stuff. We don't get paid to necessarily go work out. But I mean, that comes with, pros, cons, pluses, minuses, different things.
Okay. Yeah. All right, man. All right. We're down to our frugal and cheap.
And I'm enjoying this.
All right. This one here is taking napkins and condiments from fast food restaurants for your car or home.
I do this all the time.
Yeah, I definitely do the napkin thing, man. Like I try to keep napkins on hand for kids, for spills, whatever. So like you go eat into a fast food restaurant, and I just like come out with napkins, you know.
Dude, for me, like the napkins thing, definitely. Like I don't think I hardly even buy napkins for the house because I think we have so many leftovers from other places. But dude, I remember when I was so cheap, I used to live by a Starbucks, and I forgot sometimes I would need sugar, and I would just grab the Starbucks sugar from the Starbucks instead of like buying like sugar. And the thing is, I never go to Starbucks, so like, or if I do, I totally get like a water, like a
Yeah, I was about to say a water.
a water like no ice. And but like a lot of my friends would like to go to Starbucks and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just get a water because they don't charge you for water, which is rightfully so. They shouldn't. But yeah, and then like when we were there, I just grabbed like some sugar packets and I'll just take them home.
Okay. So so when you come into Starbucks, they're like, how may I help you, sir? Well, I'm already helping myself. Have a nice day.
Basically doing your job. The sugar is just a tip.
Yeah. So I mean, and the condiments, yeah, I think we still keep some around, but we don't do it as much as we used to. We used to have like a container full of all these different places we've been to. And I mean, and they do help out, especially if you run out of ketchup, all these different,
Man, it's like Infinity Stones, man. You gotta collect them all.
Yeah, I know, right? You can go every little place. You just grab soy sauce, you know, ketchup.
Soy sauce, man. I don't buy soy sauce. I just collect the packets.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. It could be frugal or it could be cheap. It depends on how you want to look at it, right? You think it's frugal? You don't think it's just cheap? Like. You like, you can just go to Walmart, buy a big pack of napkins.
Yeah, but think about it. Now, like you're adding another trip into it. So like you already got like the fast food or whatever it was, and say if you didn't use all the packets, cool. But then now you got to go out and go buy some more from like a Walmart or HB, whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's just too much time consuming. So it's for
you're burning gas too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you put extra miles on your car, so like, you're wearing it down. So now you got to pay for maintenance.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, if the McDonald's or Starbucks is in like a Target or Walmart, then you might be cheap because you ain't get it. But if you're just doing like drive through like a regular spot, then it's frugal. I don't even know how much. I don't even know how much like napkins cost.
That's terrible. Right? You don't know how much that. You know, with a roll of paper towel or a pack of napkins, you're like, nah, free in my world.
All right, not wrong, man.
Yeah. No, like I said, the napkins, definitely for sure. Because
especially for the car, man. Like, I've never put like napkins I bought in the car.
Yeah. And I guess that does make sense, right? You hardly ever do it, even though it does need its own. It needs its own thing. Because if you have kids, a spill is gonna happen. You could tell them be as careful as possible. You could yell at them, whatever, right? Don't worry, they're gonna spill it anyway. So, yeah. All right, man. Guess we'll go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Craig and Jay signing off the Troubleshoot Light podcast. We'll see you next week. Please like and subscribe.